Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new spoiler review of episode 5 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the second to last episode of the season. Before I get into my spoiler thoughts of this brand new episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, please hit that thumbs up button, the like button. That's the best way to support the channel. It gives the thumbs up. More people can watch the video. If you're enjoying it, please definitely do that. Also, please comment down below your thoughts. I respond to every comment. So if you're new to the channel, I respond to every single comment. So comment down below your thoughts of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Tell me what's your favorite, least favorite episode. Tell me, are you excited for next week? Tell me your predictions for the final episode next week on Disney+. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, ring that bell with notifications. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers as fast as possible. So please share the video as well. If you know people who watch Falcon and Winter Soldier and need a place to talk about it, this is a great community to do that. And now let's get into my spoiler thoughts of the episode. I really love this episode. I was on the controversial side. I really wasn't a huge fan of last week's episode. I didn't hate it. I had a lot of fun with last week's episode, but for me, it felt too predictable, too one note, and common sense was kind of thrown out the door last week. Even though the philosophical discussions were great, a lot of the actual story for me wasn't great. Now, this week, we open up with Sam and Bucky fighting John Walker in a really great action set piece, which really was a great way to open this episode. It was really brutal. You can tell John Walker has a lot of emotion. He thinks he really, truly is Captain America. And then they have this fight, and ultimately at the end of the fight, Sam and Bucky get the shield back, and Bucky hands it to Sam, which I thought was very interesting. Bucky says he needs to handle some business, and so does Sam. This episode that was the only big superhero type scene we got in the entire episode. Now, in episode 1, I was not a huge fan of the Sam and his sister and the bow. That was one that I was not a huge fan of because every time in that first episode we kept kind of Bucky, it was infinitely more compelling what Bucky was doing in that episode than what Sam was doing. Now, this episode, it was different. Sam was actually, well, I'm not saying Bucky wasn't interesting. Bucky was one of the best part, in my opinion, of the entire show. Sam goes back to his sisters. And well, he goes back to see Isaiah Bradley first, and he wants to just be explained what happened to him. And I thought that him understanding this, the Isaiah Bradley, his 2 scenes are unbelievably great, and the actors do an amazing job in these scenes. And it's very emotional because it feels real. They did test African Americans back in the day. And it really, and they were, and something in Defy of Bloods does so well is that they show that these African Americans go to war for the United States, and they came back hated. And this time, Isaiah Bradley came back claimed dead, so he was forgotten in the world of history. And I thought that was such a fascinating discussion between Isaiah and Falcon. And the idea of Sam knowing that there hasn't been a Black Captain America for a reason so far. And the fact that the United States just doesn't want it. There's a reason why John Walker became Captain America. And that scene for me was very powerful, very well done. So before we go back to Sam and Bucky, back at Sam's sister's area, go to John Walker. He's given that he's no longer Captain America. He's stripped of the shield, stripped of basically everything except going to prison. And he sits down with his wife, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus makes her debut into the season. And I believe clearly that she is the power broker. She doesn't leave any of her information with John, even though she knows everything going on with the situation with that he doesn't have the shield, that he should have killed those people, in her opinion. So in my opinion, this shows that Julia Louis-Dreyfus, I believe, is the power broker. I don't think it's Sharon Carter. This, for me, is a pretty clear distinction that she clearly is someone important, but very under the radar, and that's the power broker, in my opinion. So after that scene's over, we also see John Walker talk to Lamar's family, which is, again, a pretty emotional scene as well. But then we ended on that scene, and that's pretty much the end of John Walker until the post-credit scene, which there was this episode. Sam and Bucky and Sam's trying to work on this boat for them to sell it. They get help, and Sam's really trying to do something that Steve Rogers never had to balance, because Steve was basically Captain America for a brief time when he actually had people to care about in the first Avenger. From Winter Soldier on, he had no family, really. He had no family. He had no back worth of Captain America and Steve Rogers. There was really no distinction between the two. They were one person. Sam has to balance out being a person who wants to be a Captain America for the entire country, but also fixing problems in his life today. If that's possibly selling the boat, helping out his sister, the balance of family, of real family, and being Captain America is a great dynamic that Steve Rogers really didn't have to go through. That, and also being Black, obviously, and being a Black superhero and being a Black Captain America was very important to Sam. Bucky is off in Sokovia. We're at the Sokovia Memorial where Zemo is, and he tricks him out and doesn't shoot him. Wakandans take him, and Bucky asks for Wakandans for something, which is what Bucky gives Sam at the end of this episode. So the Wakandans have Zemo, which I don't know if that sets up Zemo to be in Black Panther 2, but he is clearly in Wakanda. We're not sure. I'm not sure if we're going to see him next week, but Zemo is so good this season. Bucky then goes off and he helps Sam with the bow. And they have some really brotherly conversations. They said they would never see each other in episode, I think, 2 or 3, but now they seem like brothers. Bucky understands why Sam needs to be the next Captain America. Great conversation. Bucky flirting with Sarah was hilarious. And Bucky's so good. And Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie. I think this was Anthony Mackie's best episode so far from an acting point of view. Really great stuff from both these actors in general. And then we get them practicing with the shield, and they have a fun, tough love conversation about Bucky. How Bucky thought by just beating up the people that he needed to amend would help him. Him being a nice person would actually do that better. And it was a nice, tough love scene. He was like, good talk, Sam. I was like, yes, it was definitely a good talk. We continue, and Bucky says, I'll have your back. Just let me know where you get a lead on Carly. Once you do, just let me know and I'll be right there. So they're still together, which is really great. Now, Carly, this episode is going full criminal. She brings in that guy who was in Captain America and Winter Soldier in the opening scene of this show, who just wants to kill Falcon. He makes a deal with Carly and the Flag Smashers. They're going to take out the GRC. We saw on the phone that everyone's rallying around the Flag Smashers. And then we get the ending scene of the GRC basically being taken over by the Flag Smashers. And we end the scene with Sam looking at the thing that the Wakandans gave Bucky. It's probably a new either suit, Falcon suit, or Captain America suit that will be very exciting for next week, which is setting up the finale to be really great. So honestly, guys, this might be my favorite episode of the entire series so far. I really loved how grounded it was, how authentic it was, really personal. And the opening scene was superhero enough for me. I didn't really need any other things with that. So I am very pumped for this finale. Also, the post-credit scene shows John Walker creating his own shield. Obviously, it won't be the same because it's obviously not made of vibranium, but it's still a new shield. So that's my spoiler review, guys, of the Falcon Winter Soldier episode 5. Next week, I'll be giving my full season spoiler review as well as the episode finale spoiler review alone. So I'm so pumped to talk Falcon Winter Soldier for one more time next week. So thank you guys so much for joining me on my journey on giving my reviews of both WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier. I'll be doing the same thing for Loki in June. So please like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment, share the video, all of those things. Thank you guys so much for following me here on Max Talks Movies. I'll see you guys very soon.